Appositives, essentially the unessential parts of sentences. Just like frosting on a cake, it's nice to have, but it's not essential. Appositives are when you rename a noun with another noun. They can be one noun, one word, a noun phrase. Remember, a phrase is something without a subject or a verb. Or it can be a noun clause that renames the noun. Remember, a clause has a subject and a verb. Just like these swans, appositives come right after the noun in front of it. James, the male swan, was always kind of a crab. He looks like it. Male swan directly follows James. His wife, Callista, notice Callista comes right after his wife. Try your hand at finding some appositives. The appositive in this sentence is, "Who spit on my shirt?" which is a noun clause. Try another one. The appositive is the peacock, which renames George. So the big question is, how do we punctuate appositives? It's important that an appositive has a comma before and after it because it's not essential. And the commas show us that this is not necessarily important for the sentence to function as a sentence. If the appositive ends the sentence, it would still start with the comma, but it would end with a period because it ends the sentence. You wouldn't put a comma and then the period. Look at the examples in this text. Let's test your knowledge. Which sentence is punctuated correctly? The first sentence is punctuated correctly because it uses two commas. The second one was missing the second comma after Dr. Dave, so it was not punctuated correctly. Remember, appositives are like frosting on a cake. You don't need it, but golly, it sure adds a lot to your sentence or your cake. And in English, appositives are the way that we can have our cake with frosting and eat it too. Hi, I'm Pip, and I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine. I don't know if you've ever met him. It is the introductory element. I'd like to introduce you. The easy thing with the introductory element is they end with a comma, and they always introduce a sentence. The hard part, of course, is that you have to know a lot of grammar to know if you should put a comma there or not. Introductory elements are never independent clauses. They can't stand alone. Oftentimes, they are incomplete thoughts, but they don't have to be a dependent clause. Most of the times they're adverbial phrases, and any type of phrase that starts a sentence. Let's take a look at a few. Here, our introductory element is a prepositional phrase, during the storm. Another kind of phrase is a participle phrase. They describe a noun, they're not necessarily a complete thought. Here we have hiding under the stairs. The next phrase we'll look at is an infinitive phrase. To stop bothering her, I stopped screaming. The last phrase we'll look at is an appositive. My mom's favorite child is an appositive and an introductory element. All of those phrases help describe the setting of the sentence and help introduce the action and the main idea. The next introductory element we'll look at is a direct address. When you're directly addressing a noun, like Tom or Pip. Plain old adverbs can work as introductory elements. Usually adverbs end in ly. Lastly, dependent clauses are introductory elements as well. They always need a comma before they start into the next independent clause. Look at this example. Those are your introductory elements. I'm glad that you have gotten acquainted.